Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I am going to be ranking every single Galactic Assault map from the worst to the best. Now keep in mind this is my own opinion of the map rankings, but I want you all to let me know your own personal rankings as well in the comments section down below. Also, if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe for all Battlefront 2 related updates and content in the future. Anyways, I don't want this video to be too long, so we are going to jump straight into it, and starting off we have Jakku. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that this map is at the bottom of a lot of people's lists. Jakku is a long map with 4 phases, almost impossible to get through the 3rd phase, and the entry points to that phase are limited and super narrow. This makes it a blaster hero and Wookiee's wet dream to just sit there and spam kills, making it extremely hard for the teams to push through. When comparing this to Jakku in the previous Battlefront 2015 game, they are absolutely miles apart. Jakku from 2015's Walker Assault mode is still one of my favorite maps to date, and Battlefront 2's version doesn't even come close. Next up on the list is Hoth and Crate, and I'm going to be using these two maps interchangeably for number 11 and 12, so put them wherever you will, they're both pretty bad in my opinion. These maps are absolute sniper fests with an extremely repetitive first phase, and the AT-AT and the AT-M6 can wipe you out extremely easily and often, which leads to a lot of frustration as a player. There's nothing worse as running across the battlefield and just being absolutely destroyed by one of these and then pretty much finding yourself back at the spawn screen. Heading inside on Hoth and Crate both make it one of the harder choke points to push through. Hoth more specifically than Crate, it makes it really hard to get inside and get through into the last phase, but Crate definitely makes for a lot of overtime in that second phase as well. Next up at number 10 is Kashyyyk, one of the most highly anticipated maps before the game launched, and yes, it is still a good map. However, Kashyyyk seems to find its way at the start of the rotation more often than not, which led to it becoming mind-numbingly repetitive. I know a lot of you are probably going to disagree with me on this, but this is just where I place it at the moment. And it also was at the start of the rotation when there was 3 maps stuck in the rotation for a long period of time. And I played the game a lot at that point, which made it even worse. So Kashyyyk is definitely good if you're looking for kill streaks with heroes and things like that. It does have an upside to it, but I think I've just played it way too many times for it to be extremely enjoyable anymore. Next on the list is Takodana, and it has a tough first phase, which often leads to very short rounds. A lot of the time the First Order can't even drive back the resistance, which causes a round to end most of the time without getting much chance to use a hero because it stops pretty early, which, let's be honest, is one of the best parts of Galactic Assault. Using heroes is the most fun part, so if you don't get a chance to do that, it makes it extremely frustrating playing that map. However, in saying this, if it does get through to the second phase, it can be quite fun regardless of your preferred class or hero, and Mars's Castle is definitely a fun one to play. Getting Boba Fett and jumping on top of Mars's Castle is definitely a good way to surprise the enemy, and I've enjoyed doing that a few times even recently. Next up on the ranking list is Yavin 4. Now, this map I have a love-hate relationship for. Again, the first phase can be quite difficult to push through, however, it's definitely rewarding if you do get through it. The map itself can be fantastic for kill streaks, and I personally again love playing Boba Fett on this map, as the 3rd phase gives you a big open area to let loose on some rebels. Palpatine can also be extremely effective if you are playing dark side, and anyone on the light side is pretty much going to be good on this map. I think after the first phase this map has a good balance and feel to it, making it right where it needs to be on this list. Now we're going to start to head towards some of the better maps, so strap into your seats and let's get to it. Jumping into number 7 we have Starkiller Base. Now this is a fun map and something that emulates the movie really quite well. Obviously we don't have that battle on Starkiller Base, but I think it really does look just like it does in the movie. It's beautifully designed, and the 3 phases give different situations all the way through. I don't know if it's just that I've played on Starkiller a little bit less than some of the other maps, but I always seem to enjoy it when it comes around in the rotation, and I don't often find myself quitting out to find a new round when this does come up in the rotation. So for light side heroes, the Saber users as well as Han and Lando have a really good chance for kill streaks, especially moving up inside. As you're on the push into the second phase, it can be extremely useful with Han's Detonite and Lando's Sharpshot, which finds you dominating the enemy team. Also, if you're playing light side, a tip would be to grab Luke and run up the staircase as quickly as you can and try and get a sneaky force push at those at the top of the stairway. If you're playing dark side, Bossk, Palpatine and Boba Fett can be extremely useful throughout all 3 phases. Bossk can set his mines at the top of the staircases as well as chuck his gas in there, and Boba Fett being able to fly around the enemies makes it really useful. And well, as for Palpatine, we all know how effective his chain lightning is. It's pretty much still OP, and the fact that he can jump extremely high and spin out of the way very quickly makes him an absolute beast in all of this map. Coming in at number 6 is Tatooine, and Tatooine can be a really fun map to play. The rooftops create for a different feel to a lot of the other maps. However, sometimes it can be a struggle to get through the first and even second phases. However, the nostalgia on this map of episode 4 has me enjoying it every single time I play it, and you don't always have to worry about it being a massive snipe fest like a lot of the maps can be. The close quarters combat is probably something that I prefer because I don't tend to play sniper unless it's on Crate, Hoth, or Geonosis. Now, as we approach the top 5, we are starting to get serious here, and number 5 is going to be Kamino. This map gives you a little bit of everything. You get close quarters combat in phase 1, an open sniper's paradise, obviously with the ability to use any of the classes in phase 2, and then a really grindy 3rd and 4th phase, which can make for some really fun rounds and really high scores as well. Kamino is also a plus, as the new heroes like Grievous and Obi-Wan sit at 4,500 battle points normally, making it easier to test out and level up those heroes that not everyone may have maxed out yet. Coming in at number 4 is Endor, and Endor is an amazing map for kill streaks, probably one of the best maps for kill streaks, if not the best, especially for the light side saber heroes. I often choose Luke or Obi-Wan on this map, and it can lead to some massive kill streaks. The nighttime variant of this map is great, and when turning off your lightsaber, it can help keep you hidden from your enemies until it's too late and you already have the kill. The final phase is a close quarters war zone, which can be really fun, and a tough final phase makes for a satisfying win at the end of the round. Geonosis is going to slot in at number 3, and now I don't know if this is so high on my list because it's still new and I've had a few good hero runs on it, and the lack of playing it so far still has me wanting more, but I think the first phase is a great balance between the two objective points. The second phase running downhill is something we don't really have on any other map, and between the catacombs in the first phase and the overall map design for the rest of the level, it definitely makes it really fun to play in the rotation. I think the sandstorm is something really cool that they added to the map, and it avoids it being too much of a sniper fest all the way through. I know as you move into the second phase it can be a little bit snipey, but definitely moving further in once the sandstorm starts, it makes it a lot more difficult for those pesky specialists. Number 2 is the Death Star 2. Now this is definitely one of my favorite maps to play, and hence why it comes in at this point on the list. The Death Star's close quarters combat is amazing. The attention to detail in the first and second phases makes for a stunning map, and again, the close quarters gameplay to begin, leading out into an open final phase for all-out warfare, makes for a really fun map to play. On top of this, pretty much every hero can be effective on the Death Star, although I wouldn't recommend using Boba Fett in the first 2 phases, but it can still be extremely fun to use him later on in the round. Now guys, this does bring me to the number 1 map on the list that I think is the best for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and if you guys haven't been keeping up, that is of course going to be Naboo or Theed. And yes, I know what you're thinking, we've been playing it since beta, aren't you sick of it yet? No, I'm not, because the thing is, this map rarely comes up in the rotation. It was always at the end, and when you finally got to it and played through your 2 rounds, you had to grind through the whole rotation just to play it again. Naboo is a beautifully designed map, the accuracy to the movies is phenomenal, and playing all the way through this map is always a good time. The final phase in the throne room is one of the most fun ways to end a round, as it becomes absolute chaos trying to cram everyone into this tiny room, and with the heroes they either thrive or they'll get overrun by enemies, so you definitely have to play it smart, and it takes an element of skill to stay alive in that final phase. I also love playing the B2 Super Battle Droid, most of you on the channel will know that, so Naboo has been a great map for me with the Battle Droid kill streaks. So that's going to wrap up the list for today guys. Keep in mind this was my personal opinion on the map rankings. If you agree, let me know down below, but if your list is different to mine, I would love to see you guys post that in the comment section as well. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button down below and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will be back soon with another video, and I hope to see you guys all there. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and may the Force be with you.